Hello. How's everybody doing? What's up? What's up? What's up? How's it going, Bradley, Massimo, Hero, Scissor, Zenith? We got Raw Rima Dinosaur, Psycho. How's it going? How's it going? Let me know if you guys can hear me okay, see me okay, and also hear the background music. Because first of all, I have a new mic. You've probably seen it in videos already, but I'm also streaming on a new software. So I switched over from OBS to Streamlabs because I wanted to stream only on Streamlabs because it's a little bit better for streaming. So just make sure you let me know. Everything is fine. Hello, Dark System from Mexico. Let me put on my sound okay camera. Okay. Let me put on my microphone condom here, and let me know if you can hear me okay still. I think it's still good. Looks good. Have chat on the screen. Everything is good. Yeah. So how's it going, everybody? Welcome to another Wednesday stream. If you're new here, we do those every week. So turn on the bell to get notified when I go live in case you forget and want to hang out. We have some interesting things to talk about. Not much because it's sort of like the season is like, so the national season is sort of like dying down. Not really, because most of you probably watching this have a regional, a national still like upcoming. Mine is over, thank you. But yeah, and there's like no ban lists still, which is weird. We do have some reveals. We have the Wild Survivors set list, and I do want to talk about that. And I also want to talk about Vanquish Soul a little bit. I think it kind of caught my attention. It's not a deck that I would usually play. It's like super control-y, but I kind of want to know how it feels to play the deck. Because I think that it's obviously going to be a little bit expensive because of all the rarities, which is nuts. Nuts, guys. I've never seen anything like that. Ban list? What is that? I don't know. You remember once in Tierlements format, suddenly Kit Kalos was illegal? I think that's a ban list. I'm not 100% sure. Do you go through the first place national? Yeah, I saw that. Where did I see it? I just saw it a few minutes ago. I was on Twitter, maybe? Send it over on Discord if you have the list, and we can watch it together. And maybe we can build it and see. It's going to be an Amazing Defenders Pearly all over again as far as prices. I think it's going to be more expensive than Pearly, to be honest. I'm good, Ojama. I'm all good. Nash has it where? I think I just saw it on Twitter, like 10 minutes ago. Swear to God. Nash's YouTube channel. Oh, got it. I'll go look it up. That's okay. Nash. Is it a video? Oh, okay. Oh! They didn't play Gimmick Puppet? There's no way. They did not play Gimmick Puppet. We're gonna react to that video. Yeah. 100%. Welcome. That's gonna be interesting. Why is all of my chat names in red? What is this? Is it viable to use Bestial Dispatter in future builds? I think that I did make a video about the Synchro variant, but I don't think that like branded Espia should play it. Like you don't have enough. Sorry for my dog barking. You don't have enough level 6s to go consistently. Like if you play one Serenir, I also have a video coming up later this week about like the Q&A that I posted. Like once in a while, I would do like a video where viewers ask me questions and I answer in one video. And so you're gonna get the long answer there, but the short answer is that if you don't play enough Bestials, you don't have enough level 6s to go into level 10s consistently. It's just simple math. If you have one level 6 Serenir, that is the only way that you can go into Dispatter. And you can tell me in the chat if playing one level 6 is enough to run a synchro. Like, and it's also a level 6 that you want in the graveyard a lot of the times. So you're not even gonna get it to the field. Yeah. Yeah, I saw the list for a second. I was like, that's a lot of hand traps. I think that Branded has a problem with breaking on hand traps. That's why I didn't play as many, but you know, no gimmick puppet, that's crazy. No gimmick puppet is really, really nuts. I think like coming up to a tournament, that's really, really crazy. Guys, before we kick this off, we're gonna do a few things today. So we're gonna go over the Wild Survivors stuff. We're also gonna look at the Branded list that won nationals in Bulgaria. And then we're gonna do some regional cooking because I have a regional on Saturday. Honestly, I haven't decided if I'm gonna go. It's gonna be a pretty small regional, but it could be like maybe like a fun tournament because it's not gonna be as long. And I'm, you know, this format is like, leave me alone. So if we can get to 50 likes, so we can get started with our scheduled programming, that would be much appreciated. Again, if you're new here, you can see that we're in the final stretch to 10K subscribers, which is absolutely phenomenal. So if you are here and you haven't dropped a sub yet, it's totally free, supports this channel, helps me grow, helps me make more content, and helps me spread the word. We are still in Branded format, so you know, might as well milk it, though we don't have that anymore. I saw a question back in the chat about what happens if Branded Fusion goes to 1. I don't think it's that bad, to be honest. I also don't think it's gonna happen, but it has some likelihood of happening. It's not like out of the realm of possibilities. Yeah, the Dark World tech is for a specific thing that I've been cooking for a long time. It's horrible, it's not good, but it has like a specific purpose of a Branded card that can actually negate Ash Blossom. Let me know in the chat if you can think about what card that is. But it's an interesting tech. It's not so good, in my opinion. There are better ways to do that, but we're going to talk about it when we get to the portion of the video. And again, let's get to 50 likes so we can get started. Not starting till 50. Yo, shout out to Makimi. How's it going, man? Oh, he knows the goo. He's a Branded pro. Just got here. Did I miss much? No, we're just chatting, waiting for the like count to hit 50, and then we can get started. We have the Bulgarian National Championship deck profile. Another Branded, like Branded is doing. I think it's doing above expectations. What do you guys think? I think it's exceeding expectations. Like, it's a very good deck. I'm not biased at all. I mean, I'm totally biased, but objectively, Branded has the same amount of national tops so far as Kastira. Super Heavy doesn't have any, I think. Maybe one recently. No, how's it going? What is your opinion on a 1 of 5 Rainbow Magician aside? I think that it's like not that good. Like, you can definitely consistently make it. Like, you send it for Albion, you set a card, and then you get to scale it. However, I think that it's like good versus basically one matchup. So why play it? It's only good against Super Heavy. If you play Drolls and some going second cards, you should be good anyway. Like, that one card going first should be like, it's obviously a going first deck, right? I mean, not necessarily, because you can slap it down and yeah, basically you can slap it out going second, right? And then it's basically Mystic Mine. But it's nice. I think it's cool. I might have played it in Nationals if I had my copies on time, because I didn't have them. And I felt like it was fine. Super Heavy gets to the finals. Yeah. What do you think about the new cards Vanquish? We're going to talk about those. Also, if somebody is a Vanquish Soul expert in the chat, let me know, because I do want to learn the deck a little bit. And the reason why is that I think it's a cool concept. And the problem is that it's going to be really expensive at launch. Hopefully not on tier 0, but it's 7 ultras, which is nuts. It's like you play 3 of the Link 1, maybe 2. That's an ultra. You play 3 Stake Your Soul, which is an ultra. You play 3 of the Fire Guy. That's an ultra. Like everything's an ultra. Every freaking card in the set is ultra. It's crazy. I think it's the 3rd best deck in the format by hair over Pearly. Yeah, it's much better than Pearly. I think that Pearly is solid, but like Branded, it takes a really good pilot to run Pearly successfully. And Branded, I think, has probably the highest skill level in the format right now. Like, it's really interesting, like how your skill matters when you play Branded, because the level of play that you can achieve with Branded, if you're a good player, is much more than the average person who just picks up the deck. Like, imagine it's a deck that exists for over a year now, and it's evolving every few months. So, like, imagine people like me who played it from the beginning, a lot of you probably too. Like, since day one, we played that deck for a year. It's similar to like Striker in a sense, where Striker is a very intricate deck to pilot well. So I think it's really cool. And while like Pearly and Castria and stuff like that, those are relatively new decks. And Castria is like super linear. Pearly is, I mean, you can get creative with Pearly. No hate on that. But yeah. Gal, have you tried Duality and Shadows Light and Branded? So I actually have. It's funny that you asked that. I have a video, like I have a document where I list all my video ideas. And so I just scratch them off as I record them. And I have a video on Shadows Light and Duality ready. Like I have the whole concept and the script ready, but I haven't had the chance to do it for like months. Because it was never relevant enough. I've been doing almost daily uploads for like a few months now. Probably like 4 uploads a week on average. And there's always been something more important to cover, so I never got to it. What do you think about Brandon White? It's a good card. It's a good card. You can definitely play it. What made you want to take out the Super Poly for your current build? We're going to talk about my current build later in the live stream. If we can get to 50 likes, which doesn't seem like that, so we're just never going to start. If you're here, leave a like so we can get going. What is this? Whoa. I just got an interesting message. National Championship ticket for the European Oceanic Championship. Hi, thanks for confirming the champion is unable to attend, which is me. I'm not going to be able to attend Euros. Kindly inform them that their travel, flight, and accommodation is valid for 1 year. If not used by May 24, it will expire. So I will probably replace it with a European YCS. Because I can't make Euros because I have other plans. What's happening here? Nothing. We're just chatting. 2 Grand Guignol, yeah, for sure. Let's take a look at the National Championship video.
Welcome back, brothers and sisters. Today, we have the winner of the Bulgarian National 2023. And he decided to choose me, this Italian streamer, to make the deck.
Can you hear it okay?
Victor Yordanov. How you doing, my brother?
I'm pretty good. I'm fine.
Based.
Happy about my win.
So let's go over the deck list.
Based.
So we see the standard 3 Fallen of Albaz, the standard 3 Aluber, 1 Cartesia.
Okay. No Gimmick Puppet Nightmare. No Gimmick Puppet Nightmare. I don't like the way it's it's ordered. Like why there's like, I don't know. Look at all the one-ofs. This is classic Branded. Before he starts talking about it, because he's probably going to explain a lot. So we see the double Lubellion, which is, and the double Dragoon. So he was like really relying on Dragoon. Phantasme, I've considered it a lot because it's a dragon. No Lulu, which I think is fine. I don't think you have to play Lulu. It doesn't really do anything. It just allows you to extend a bit further and put some more pressure on the board. It's good in like a late game scenario. It's a little quiet. I'll turn it up. My chat overlay hasn't moved in a while. Oh, yeah, that's true. Let me hide it. We don't need a chat overlay, right? There we go. All right, let's go over. Let's see the video.
I thought like recently more people were running two Cartesias.
Well, the second Cartesia is basically just Quem. You can have Quem with opening and Quem send Cartesia, and that's basically just the same thing. It's a weaker Cartesia though, but it just does the job.
Oh, no Serenir in the main. Okay. I've been thinking about cutting the Bestials altogether from the main. I think that Lubellion is more mandatory. Thank you, Code, for subscribing. I've been thinking about like what happens if I just don't play Bestials in the main, like not play Lubellion. I think Lubellion though is just a good send off of Branded Fusion. The problem if you don't play a Bestial, then it's a brick in the hand. It's a discard, which a lot of cards in this deck need, but it's you know
Like
it doesn't provide
don't
any
need
more
the
value.
Same, just a different copy of Cartesia with the same effect.
Okay. So 3 deployment, 3 branded fusion, reopening, 1 red, that is standard. Branded lost, tragedy, ad libitum. Cross out, 2 ash, 1.
I did also play Ad Libitum in my build. I did play it in my build, and I never made it once. I never used the effect throughout the whole tournament. That's why I decided to cut it eventually.
Permanence.
Because Quem provides the value that Adlib would, basically. Not all the time. You can't do the Brandon Red, banish the... That's why I played it eventually, but... And he's like on 40 cards. I would say he bricked a lot of on hand traps.
And then we got Quem, Bestials...
Very interesting list.
Retribution, Mercurier, Dark Magician, and Royal Expert. So let's go step by step. The first question that I have is, why not the puppet?
It's bad. It's bad. Basically, if you are able to resolve Branded Fusion, from my testing, no deck can beat you. Like, if you do the full combo, you end on 4 to 5 interruptions, which basically no one would be able to break, even with bold breakers. In Swiss, I was playing against a poly player. He lava golemed me twice. I still had like 3 interruptions left. Had no, basically just nothing.
So what he's saying is he passed 4 out of 6 rounds. What do you mean passed? Like passed? Won the die roll and just pass? Because if that's the case, then my theory is correct. Like this deck can brick on hand traps. You need like 2 starters in the hand. Like 1 starter is not enough sometimes because you know your opponent will have interruptions for that. So what he's saying basically, and it's something that I was considering as well, that he says that if you resolve Branded Fusion, you already win the game. I think that's a fair take. I think it's a fair take, but the problem is there are 2 caveats to that. There are 2 ways where that can go wrong. One is if you get interrupted mid-combo. Like, when you start resolving Branded Fusion, then you go into a combo. Like, you go into some sort of line, you fusion, and then you end on the board suddenly, right? If you get interrupted mid, Valor on the Albion, sometimes that's good enough. Like, it will really, like, get you nowhere, like, unless you have Cortesia set up. And he's playing only 1. That's why I played 2, because I wanted more access to it because it's really good with Quem. And the other thing that is a caveat when you're talking about Branded Fusion resolving is that sometimes you don't have enough cards in your hand to make an optimal, like the 4 or 5 interruptions that he's talking about is not going to be always. It's not really going to be 100% of the time. Because imagine you open only Branded Fusion. Branded Fusion and, you know, Dark Magician, Mercurier, Tragedy, Imperm, right? Or Albaz in the hand. That could happen a lot. Like opening ad libitum, he's playing with like more bricks, so that could happen a lot. So Branded Fusion alone gets you to a Mirror Jade with Tragedy. Then you go for the Aluber, set up something, and basically pass on like 2 interruptions at most with like a Mirror Jade and Brandon Red, right? So a lot of the time, you need to have a good hand with like an access to both Aluber and like the 4 interruptions that he's talking about is that you need to open Aluber and opening or Quem and opening and preferably deployment or Cartesia. So that's already like 3 cards. And you need to like also not be interrupted. Because if something gets interrupted along the way, then it becomes more of a problem. They mitigate that with like crossout, which I like, of course. But it is a bold statement then that it's true that Brand Fusion, if it resolves, you usually win the game. That is true. But yeah, no Foolish, no Gold Sark. Consistency might be a problem here.
The best actually board breaker against Branded is actually Harpy's Feather, so Lightning Storm for spell traps. That does take away a lot of interruptions from the end board.
By the way, no spell trap removal in the side at all. And basically no going first cards, right? Except for Called By, which he doesn't play in the main. Wow. That's very interesting. Like, you play against Runic, you lose. You play against Backer, you lose. Like Super Ancient Organism, you lose immediately.
If you go with the Albion end board where you have like you have red.
I wonder what his matchups
and
were.
Lost does take away and forces the red, but yeah, I'm pretty sure no board breaker as well with engine would be able to break to the whole board. Basically, never lost going first if Branded Fusion resolved. The puppet just unneeded. It just adds extra bricks to the deck, which if you do resolve Branded Fusion, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but the thing is, you would remove Dark Magician.
Yeah, like Nesh is automatically not agreeing. Like he's like, wait a minute. I think that if you play more Cartesia, then Gimmick Puppet Nightmare is not a brick. Right? Because if you open Cartesia and Gimmick Puppet, that's already Puppet Lock. Simple as that. Normal Cartesia, Fusion, Grand Guignol, send Albion, pass turn. Pass turn, right? It's already a Gimmick Lock if you open it. It's not a brick if you play 5 Cartesia. He plays 4, that's also fine.
For the puppet, and the puppet helps.
Oh no, the Dark Magician is a going second card. It's nothing the same.
That's
you
true.
just do Dark
It is a
Magician
going
when you're
second
going
card.
against
You never make Dark Magician game 1 when you're going first. You never make it. Unless you absolutely know. Even if you do know, it's probably not the right call.
You're going second. Puppet does nothing if you play it. It's not a going second card. It's just a go first, like a harder go first card when that's absolutely not needed. Where Dark Magician gives you chances to play against Cash Tzero going second. It helps you break their board. And going second is the most important when if you want to go second, that's where the most help would be needed. Like the deck needs a lot of help going second, and Dark Magician helps you going second against Cash Tzero. And I felt like Cash Tzero would be extremely popular. It was extremely popular. I think a lot of players played Cash Tzero as well.
I think Kicker, I think my list wasn't that good as well. Even though it won, it wasn't a good list. But I think I had my reasons. This guy obviously had his reasons for what, I mean, it won. It doesn't really matter. It could be about like being lucky with matchups, where I think I was lucky as well. But yeah, I think there's questionable decisions here, but he might talk about it. Like, no, look at this side. He's like he's playing Super Heavy Samurai. What place did this list get? First. This is a national winning list.
Not sure on the numbers, but Branded and Cash Tzero were the most popular decks, I think.
The second question would be, we see no Sarni. Any thoughts on that?
It's just a brick.
It's just a brick.
Useless. Just a brick.
So that's why we just go for Lubellion in order to go from Lost, right?
Yep. Lubellion is good. Lubellion helps you play through interruptions, through Veiwa, to Mona, and set up
How?
the full board. So it is good. Soren is just
Nash is like fuming right now. Look at him. He's so pissed.
useless.
But by watching the stream, by watching the feature matches, you never went for the Albion line.
I didn't. When I was testing before the event on DB, I was trying not to play the Albion line, see if I actually needed the line or not. And actually, the deck list I was using there never played the Bestial Lubellion. I did add Lubellion in the end, but
I'll give him that. I was considering cutting the Bestials from the main as well. I was considering it, but the value that they give you is just too much. And I also think that if you have access to Quem, then the Albion line is superior. So this person is saying basically, if I have Quem on the board, I still go for the Lubellion line. Just like that's a free Cartesia that you're giving up on if you don't have access to it. Like opening in Branded Fusion is always like, you should probably always go for Quem at that point, because the Lubellion line is like so bad because you can only get like Tragedy or Dragoon. It's a bit worse. Like now, if you're talking about how do you make, can somebody in the chat explain to me how do you make 3 to 4 to 5 interruptions with the Lubellion line? I don't see it. Like the Lubellion line, meaning sending a dark monster with Albaz from the deck to make Lubellion the Searing Dragon. With the Albion line being an Albaz and a light monster. How do you make 4 interruptions with that?
testing without it, so maybe just autopower took over there.
So there might be also the possibility for this deck to cut cards like Lubellion and Lost, you think?
Well, Lost, I think I like, but I don't know about the Bestial. I'm not entirely sold on it. I was playing fine without it on DB, so I don't know.
So here I see a lot of entraps. So Double Ash, Ogre, Impermanence, Veil, Droll.
Double Ash, because I just was too scared to play just a single one. I think it's a bad hand trap, but it really hurts when you get Ash Confusion. So you play 2, not to draw, to have 1 in deck for crossout at all times. 1 Ogre to help around the standard line where Cartesia and Luba. The standard Cartesia Luba 1 loses to Ogre, or so I've been told, so I just put in 1 Ogre instead of 1 Vewa.
So I've been told. I mean, I played Ogres as well in my Nationals build. But so I've been told. Like, you don't know if the deck loses to Ogre or not, or like the line loses to Ogre or not.
Just play around that. Triple Imperm is the best.
Nash right now is like, what is this guy cooking? What is this guy talking about right now? There is no way he thinks this makes sense, right?
Can trap double Vewa. There were 3 initially, but I cut 1 for Ogre. The lineup after that, Quem, the Bestial, Shrouded, the Trap, Mercury, Dark Magician, those all bricks that I side out. Going second. I keep Tragedy and Ad Libitum, though, even going second, because you don't need to make some board going second. They have, like, you do need to do something after you break their board and you didn't manage to kill them. And draws are absolutely insane.
So for the extra deck, double Albion, double Lubellion, double Mirage, this is standard. 1 Rindbrom is standard. Gran Guignol is standard. 1 Chimera is standard. Stapelia, Quertis, Titanic, Lad, Sprint, Red Dice. So here is my question on this. Did you like the Borrel fusion? The one
Oh,
that...
never tested it. I never tested it. I felt like the extra deck is so tight that I don't really want to put in one card extra. So I felt like it's not needed.
I think if you play Titaniclad, you don't necessarily need to play Quem. Not Quem, Lulu. I think Titaniclad is overall a little bit better than it's a little bit better than Lulu, but it's used differently. Like it's a good card even to summon. Sometimes better than Lulu because you can clear out a board much more easily with Titaniclad since it's unaffected. So I get not playing Lulu. I was considering again not playing it. I'm still considering if it's a must. I got a Starlight, so I guess I'll play it, right? Titaniclad is just better. It can summon Albaz, but also it does the same thing that Lulu does, but it doesn't summon Cartesia. It only summons Quem. So if you don't have access to it, they both do different things. So if you need to summon Quem, if you have everything, absolutely everything, and you summon Granguignol, then the best send will be Lulu. But in this build, you don't have a Lulu, so just by that, you lose access to Cartesia if you need it. Not the best reasoning, but I think it makes sense.
That's maybe. I just wanted to have like Dragoon at all times, so I played Dragoon at 2 to help around with the Castor
No Masquerade, by the way.
matchup. And yep, pretty much the extra deck. I don't know what to cut from the extra deck at all. Like if Kastura is still in the meta, I feel like I would always be playing Dark Magician because it will probably just be as popular, if not more.
Did the sprint came out like for the secondary effect?
Yeah, it does come up.
For me too. It's not only that. Sprint. What's so good about Sprint is that now you have a lot more chances to fuse using Albaz on your opponent's turn. So like your opponent will summon something, and if you have Quem, then you can fuse away with their monsters. And if they don't, like a lot of people didn't know what Quem actually did, so they didn't respect it on the field. Like honestly, if I have Quem on the field and you're playing against me and have an Albaz in graveyard, if you know what you're doing, you need to out the Quem before you start playing, which is really good. That's why Quem is such a good card, because it puts so much pressure on the board. Like the minute you summon something, or I use like Mirror Jade or something like that, it becomes an interruption. So Sprint makes it so that you can fuse with almost any monster your opponent summons. Like you can fuse with Wakashi. You can take away the Wakashi, right? It's a very good card for that. The secondary effect sometimes comes up. Sometimes it does. It helped me go for game in my round 6, I think, or like round 5, where I played against MathMech. They couldn't really extend. So I used Quem, took away one of their monsters. Then on my turn, I just moved Sprint, popped the field, and went for game. Because, you know, it's already 2,500. Just need 2 more monsters and it's game. Albaz is so good right now. He's not playing Sanctifier. I mean, that's fair. That's fair. Leveling, how's it going, my boy? Not playing Sanctifier is fair if you don't play Puppet. Oh my god. Oh, this list is killing me. What do you mean you just hand trap your opponent? He has 10 hand traps here.
The second effect of Sprint.
You open 1 most of the time.
So
for
the sea, if there's someone is hiding the sea. I didn't see the sea around, but...
no, I did. Yeah, no one played it, I think.
I got Retaliating Seed twice in the finals.
It's not for the sea. It's mostly for Rimbrum. It's target from Rimbrum that you can summon with any monster they have. So yeah, and Titaniclad is actually really good because it helps you
Need
with
to know
Quem.
the matchups.
You can get Quem out
Maybe
of
he's
the
going
deck,
to talk about it.
and you can send Titaniclad mostly for Albaz, especially summon Albaz from the deck if you don't want to lose the access to Sprint and Rimbrum. Rimbrum basically the MVP of the deck.
Subscribe right now.
I really use it basically every single game.
I see. I see. That was interesting. Now let's go over the side deck because I see some spies there, my brother.
Wait, low grade tuna. The normal. First of all, he doesn't have only 2 spellcasters. He has 4. You haven't noticed Effect Veiler, right? That's 1. 2. He has another 2 spellcasters. Only 1. Sorry, Granguignol. So he has 5 spellcasters. Okay. Albion needs a light spellcaster. Second, it doesn't matter. Like I played 3, you still make it. Sometimes, you know, if you put up Albion against Runic, it's really hard for them to break if you don't play Dragoon, which I didn't. Obviously, here he plays Dragoon, which makes sense. You would just like make Dragoon. It's untargetable, it's better. Thank you, Pedro, for the sub. But still, Albion, not playing Albion, that card is so busted. Like, I'll remove your boss monster and then use it against you. It's an interruption. It's a really good extent, but I understand what he did because he needed the doubles. He played double Dragoon, double Lubellion. That costs a lot of extra deck space. Like that's 2 slots in branded is a lot. The only thing you really need to play 2 of is Mirror Jade and Albion. Honestly, you might play just 1 Mirror Jade. I don't know, but no kid is fine. People are writing no kid. Yo, Pedro, how's it going? Salute. Yeah, no Masquerade. Yeah, this guy probably played against Mathmech for like 7 rounds. I really want to know the matchups.
You see Trini Biru, and I guess if you are on an entrap approach, then
The side is kind of similar because I played 2 Sana, 3 Nibiru, 3 Bestials, but not these Bestials. Why not like 2 Magnum and 1 Druid's Worm? I really want to know what his theory was about Phantasme because, trust me, I looked at Phantasme before the Nationals. I didn't forget about this card. This card is in one of the first pages in my binder. I did not forget about Phantasme. But what do you do with it? Who do you play this against? Runic targets, but they don't link summon. And then you have Kostura. I suppose you can negate some Kostura effects because they target, right? But like they don't make links, so how do you even summon it? Labyrinth doesn't make links, Branded doesn't make links, Pearly doesn't make links. The only deck that make links is Mathmech, which you don't have a problem playing against. It's the easiest deck to play against with Branded. It's a really good matchup. And then you have Super Heavy. In which case it's going to be useless because they're going to pop your Phantasme with Baron in like 2 summons. Draw into more hand traps. But when do you summon it? On Scarecrow, you draw 1 card, or you draw 2 cards, put 1 back, right? It's definitely solid, but what if those Phantasmes were hand traps? If you want to draw into hand traps, why not play more hand traps? Like if the 3 Phantasmes were like, first of all, you don't have removal. You don't have back removal at all. Like you don't have Cosmic. What do you do if people like, there is no way I don't play Cosmic with Super Ancient Organism in like half of the decks. That's insanity. There's for sure something better. Maybe he has a reason.
makes sense. We see double Santa Claus, so I guess it's for purely.
It's for a lot of things.
To be purely, but pretty much no one played it, so it was also for Kastura. It's Santa Claus because it's light and you can tribute over Ibli.
That makes sense. That makes sense. It's
That's
also
fair.
You can tribute over
That's the
Ibli.
reason.
I did 5 cards for Kastura, so because I have 5 to side out, like when the Bestial, Shrouded, the Trap, and Mercury, those all go out of the deck when you're playing against Kastura going second, and those I think were the best 5 cards.
That is true, guys. Whenever you're thinking about siding patterns, listen to what just let me know if you can hear me because my audio stream's current bitrate is lower than recommended. I don't even know if you can hear me. But anyway, if you're talking about, like, everybody keeps asking about siding patterns, this was a really good this was a really good call from Victor. Listen to what he said, and I did this a lot in testing because I didn't see a lot of Kostya in nationals. Thank you, Aya, and no. Taking out things like Retribution, Albion, Quem, Ad Libitum, maybe Branded in Red, maybe. When you go up against Kostya, think about the fact, especially now where they play Shifter, but if they're going first, then you probably don't have a graveyard when they finish the turn, right? So Lubellion doesn't do anything, Albion doesn't do anything, Retribution doesn't do anything, Quem doesn't really do anything. Quem is questionable because you can send Mercurier and you can banish it and search for something, right? You can still use opening, get Quem, banish Mercurier, normal Ablaz, get an effect, right? You can't do that. So Quem is questionable. Mercurier also needs to be sent to the graveyard, but Under Shifter it's actually a really good card because you can discard it and it gets banished and it gets triggered. So Mercurier is good. So just note, keep that mental note in your head for when you're siding and for when you're asking like what to side.
As for Kestura, that also could use the Santa Claus for Poly as well as the two ogres for Purely.
Phantasmai. Phantasmai is
Phantasmai.
a very nice deck.
A very
How
convoluted
did you
deck.
feel about it, and did it work to unbrick your hands? And against which decks did you side it?
Phantasma is actually insane. You can draw against Super Heavy. You can draw off of it when they make a link, and then just draw them after. So it's absolutely insane. Draws you into draw. Gets you into the best card in the deck, Branded Fusion. Pretty much insane. Just and I needed a lot of cards to side in against Super Heavy. Like against Super Heavy, I just side in Phantasma, Ogre, Santa Claus, and Nibiru. All of those need to go into the deck to beat Super Heavy. And I take off all the bricks from the deck.
So he's playing two. I mean, it makes sense because he plays Imperm, but just think about the fact that if you draw Super Heavy, a lot of the times they will just make Baguska, so you need to be ready for that with the plan B. Since he's playing two Kaijus, Nibiru, you're not going to get to Nibiru probably, but two Kaijus and three Imperms. And Phantasme, honestly. If you get to Phantasme and Droll, like you Phantasme first, you draw into Droll, then you Droll them, then we can make a Baguska. But it's going to be a bit later. They probably won't make a Baguska at that point. Probably just make a Baron. All right.
Need to
he says it's insane. What can we say? He's a national champion.
Just go Branded Fusion.
And then we see 4 Bestials and Call by the Grave. Any thoughts on why you didn't main deck Call by the Grave since you're already
Call by the Grave was the last card to actually add to the deck list. Like the deck list was solved, I think, before adding Call by the Grave. Like I had all those 14 cards already selected to beat all the prevalent matches I found most important for the event, like Kashtira, Purely, Super Heavy, and Matmech. Those are the 4 decks I considered, and of course the Mirror. So I thought that these 14 cards would be able to suffice with side patterns and all. So I was left with 1 spot. I was probably just playing, I think Harpy Feather Duster or Lightning Storm was it before that, to just slightly respect trap deck.
No respect at all.
I never respect the trap, so I took it off. And I was left with...
But he got lucky because he would, like, one super ancient organism, thank you George for subscribing, kills this guy.
Like...
It killed me too, and I did side in the, so the thing is with super ancient organism, for example, so if you play Gimmick Puppet Nightmare, and you run that lock going first, post side, a lot of decks, what they would do is just like going second, side in Super Ancient Organism. They get puppeted. They set Super Ancient Organism, pass it to you, flip it, and then you're under Skildering, basically. So you need to side in against their siding pattern. So I would always side in if I did play Gimmick Puppet in the side, but let's say in games where I go first, post game 1, like maybe I lose the time, game 2 or 3, I go first, always side in the Cosmics going first, because the easiest thing for a lot of decks, especially if you're playing against decks that can really shine under it, like not Kashtira, Sprite decks, Pearly, Super Heavy can't run it. A lot of decks basically can run it. I always side in Cosmics going first.
One spot, and I was like, I'll just side out Dark Magician every game that I'm not playing Kashtira. I might as well just side in a cold buy when I go first, and I'm not playing Kashtira.
I see. So it was for siding patterns.
Yep. You just basically side out Dark Magician every single game that you're not playing Kashtira. So you just needed one card to put in instead of it.
So a little bit of flawed logic. You're playing one Dark Magician, you're playing two side deck slots, two extra deck slots for Dragoon. Two extra deck slots in Branded is a lot, okay? Those could be Masquerade, which you don't have. Those could be another Grand Guignol. This could be Lulu. It could be a lot of things. But what he's saying is that if you're not playing against Kashtira, then you side it out. What about Labyrinth? What about Runic? What about even sometimes Sprite if they get through their smashers? They're not really outing it. A lot of decks don't really have a way to deal with it besides Kashtira. It's still good against a lot of matchups. So what he's saying is that he is siding that card out and wasting two extra deck slots for every matchup that is not Kashtira, which makes sense because Kashtira is the best deck in the format. But still, like the math here kind of hurts my brain because it's just a waste of space. Just a waste of space. I did play, so Shivam, for Shivam's comment, or Shivam, I did play Dragoon, Dark Magician, and Shifters in the side at one point of testing. I didn't like it because the follow-up was really poor. I didn't play it at all. I didn't play the Dragoon at all. So I can be spicy as well.
Okay, now is the question of $1 million. No one does it
Why Puppet? Why no Puppet?
during deck profile, and I think it's wrong. After an entire event, after you won the Bulgarian National, is there any change that you would make to the deck list? And
So if you ask me that, I would be like, oh, my deck was garbage. That's what I thought. How's it going, James?
if so, why?
Mostly, I am not actually sure about the Bestial Rebellion. Like, maybe it's good. You can just prove me wrong by making the spreadsheet like open, or doing a video about it. I don't know. I haven't gone into it. I really don't like the Bestial Rebellion, and I also don't like the Retribution Trap. It's just not needed. I mostly just send Albaz, but it does come up as well sometimes. So I don't know. I'm just on the edge about those two cards. I don't really like them.
Okay, so you are thinking about Retribution and the Lubellion.
I wanted to add more hand traps to the deck, basically. Just 11 hand traps. I wanted to be like maybe 15 hand traps with the crossouts.
I see your point. I see your point. Did you see like the text that were running during the recent regional? People were starting playing cards like Prosperity in the deck because it triggers squad.
I was playing at the beginning of the format. I was playing Prosperity instead of Crossout, but then I played Prosperity and Crossout. But the problem with that is that you cut in a lot. You have to cut off a lot of the non-engine cards from the deck. And that really hurts you going second. Yeah, like you need, like Brand Fusion is good to know to find of Prosperity. It's also good to find crossouts of Prosperity when you have access to Brand.
So I had builds where I played one Prosperity to dig for crossout. I think it's a solid idea. How's it going, family man? I'm doing good, thank you. Retribution is probably the best discard, one of the best discards in the deck. If you don't play Serenir, then it's probably the best discard except for Tragedy, right? But Lubellion like discards for cost, Albaz discards for cost. It doesn't really do the same thing. The problem with Retribution, like all of his takes make sense in the context of the deck that he built. He did not play, like he wanted to cut Retribution. Why? Because he didn't play Serenir His Serenir plus Retribution is a lot of value, but he didn't play it, so he doesn't see any value in it, right? He did play Albion, which is basically the same, but with Serenir and Retribution is really good. He didn't need to play Albion because he didn't play Puppet, and that's probably the strongest thing that you can do. But still, by the way, proving that the deck can win a Nationals with no Puppet kind of disproves the haters. Not gonna lie. Yeah, all of his points make sense within the deck that he built. He built the deck quite differently with a lot of hand traps, and he cut out a lot of the fat, which is something that I talk about a lot. He played it with big balls, right? Big balls energy, and it paid off. But still, obviously, I don't agree with everything. We can't agree on everything, but I don't know.
And diffusion, but going second, it does really hurt you.
Okay. Do you have any shout out?
Yeah, I can shout out Veli. He's like the best player here. He taught me all the lines. He helped me with the deck, and yeah, he's insane. Go watch his game in top 4 or top 8.
I'll do that. Thank you for coming here. I really appreciate the fact that you shared this deck list with us. And guys,
No worries.
see you next time.
Thank you, Nash. Why am I not subscribed? Thoughts, chat? Any thoughts on the deck?
Like open.
Any thoughts on the deck? I would really, one thing is that I would really love to know the matchups. First of all, big congratulations. This guy's a beast. Winning with Branded is not easy. You need to, first of all, know your deck really well. And second of all, you need to land on some nice matchups. Right? You need your matchups to go in your favor, because he did not respect the trap decks at all. Or like any anti-spell, I don't have the balls not to play Cosmics. I got hit with in my Nationals, I got hit with anti-spell, I got hit with Super Ancient Organism, Rivalry, got hit with all of these in my Nationals. I wouldn't have the balls. Wouldn't have the balls not to play Cosmic. That's big balls. But first of all, I think that big congratulations. He won a Nationals with Branded, which is very good for all of us. It's a win-win in my book for like both him and us. That's great. Second National won by Branded. Let's go. It's really good. And once again, as I've said before, it's the decisions that he explained about make sense within the context of the deck that he's built. So a lot of the decisions and the cards he cut and didn't play make sense because he built the deck a certain way. He plays 11 hand traps here, plus 3 cross out. Like no tech. He cut out everything that was. He looked at the list. He said, "What's the bare minimum?" I would argue that ad libitum is not mandatory, right? But he played the absolute bare minimum, and he went further, and he didn't even play Serenir, right? So he was like, "What's the bare minimum that I can play? And let's add hand traps on top of all of that." And he paid off. Good GGs, BGGs, because like he won, so it doesn't matter what we think. I mean, I got flipped anti-spell on in top 8. I didn't have I sided in the Cosmics, but I didn't see them, and I just went for like Bestial beatdown, basically. FYI, I'm a Bulgarian. 2 mega grats to the Branded player, but I think on another day he loses before the finals. I think that's true about a lot of non-tier 1 decks. I think it's true about my deck as well. I think my deck loses on another day. And a lot of people lose on another day. I think it's valid. But, you know, sometimes you get... I mean, Yu-Gi-Oh! is I'd say probably 30% luck. So Yu-Gi-Oh starts off with being 100% luck based. Okay? You lower that percentage with deck building. Okay? So your deck has 100% chance of not being consistent. And you, as you deck build, it lowers that percentage. But then when you finished your deck, so this guy has the same, pretty much the same amount of starters minus one Cartesia that I had, right? It's the same, like the core itself is the same core of the deck. This is what I said about like, let's take out everything that is non-essential and put hand traps into all the slots. That's something that I did when I was testing for nationals as well. But still, after you deck build, after you theorize the entire deck, after you thought about the matchups, after you thought about the event, there still is left some percentage of luck that is your deck, even though it's 100% consistent, like a super consistent deck can still brick. That's a percentage. Matchups, bricking on hand traps with this deck because it doesn't have that many starters, right? Like it has some one card starters like Aluber opening, Fusion, that's one card starters, that's 9. Everything else needs to be in combination with some other thing, and it will be. Because, like, you know, you won't only open that and, like, all hand traps are unplayable cards. But there is still some variance, especially in countries that are not, like, big European countries and the US and Canada, or even South America to some extent, like Mexico, Brazil, where you have a lot of variance. I saw one Kastura. In a format where Kastura is the best deck, I would argue like tier 0, but it wasn't in that tournament. It wasn't that highly represented, and it allowed me to win because it's a hard matchup for Branded. It's the best deck, and Branded is not. So you're playing up against a hill. Is it crazy to play 3 cross on 1 call by 2 sales ban? You don't need to play sales ban. The reason is that sales ban locks you out of using Ash Blossom for the rest of the duel. So you're playing 2 copies of a card you can use just to resolve Branded Fusion. Just play ways to like, you know. He said, if I don't draw cross out, I draw some hand traps that if I get ashed, then I can still prevent my opponent from playing and play on turn 3, which is a very strong turn for Branded. Yo! It's the best judge in Israel and, you know, top 8. Super Heavy Samurai, let's go. Hello. I'll make you a mod. Why are you not a mod? So yeah, any concluding thoughts about the deck before we go on to other things? Well, because to see Andrew's stories again. Yeah, like 2 of the best Branded players are banned. Like imagine if Lofton and Torres still played. So Galzo, if Dark Magician and Dragoon are going second, then would you suggest putting them in the side? Not necessarily, because half of this deck is going second. Like a big percentage of your deck should be going second because you have 50% of losing the die roll, right? You don't only play going second cards in a deck and put the rest of the going second cards inside, right? Don't only play going first. You need some sort of balance between going first and second. But the reason I'm saying Dragoon is a going second card is that there's no world where you blind, like, say you don't know what your opponent is playing. There's no world where you just make a Dragoon blind because you have much better boards and you don't even know if Dragoon is good against the matchup you're going up against. This is why I'm saying it's going second. It's going second because you usually make it after you understand what you're playing against. So if you lost the die roll, you're playing against Labyrinth, great. If I can resolve Branded Fusion, I'll go for a Dragoon. If you're going against Kastura, great, I'll go for a Dragoon, right? Nothing on his deck, but I would like to get your opinion about regaining in non-Dragoon lists. You're talking about branded regained? Are you? Yeah. This is a very interesting list. We have some cooking to do for nationals, but first let's talk about Wild Survivors a bit. And before we do that, I do appreciate every single one of you who is here, and I want to thank you for being here. And I would really, really appreciate. The only thing I would ask is liking the stream and subscribing if you're new, because we're on the way to 10K, baby. On the way to 10K. We're gonna be there. We're gonna get past Nesh in a few weeks. See what the chat box does. Regained. Regained, I don't think it's such a good branded card right now. I don't think it's such a good branded card. It's mainly good in like Synchro or Digital Control or Dragon Link. It's not that good in branded. Yo, thank you, Devil. Appreciate it. Alright, guys. Let me spoil the list a little bit. And then we can talk about Wild Survivor a little bit. I do want to head over YGO organization. Do they have? There's a new salad card. I don't care about that. Wild Survivor set spoiler. Let's head over to Dual Daddy. Wait, no ban list? Did we have a ban list or no? No ban list. Unpopular opinion, Despian Llewellyn is the best looking branded Starlight. I don't know about that. Tactics is busted. That's very true. It's a very good card. Ban list? No. What's a ban list? My regional is next Saturday out here in New Mexico. Can't wait. Been loving the mat. Let's go. Who here has the playmat? Let's see who here is the real OG who got the playmat. And if you didn't, that's fine as well. I still love you. All right, guys. Ready for the craziest shit you've ever seen? Are you ready? I thought for a moment there was a ban list. Yeah, that happens to me every day. Someone that was initially interested in Vanquish Soul, it's very disappointing that yeah. Okay, so if you guys don't know, Wild Survivors, I had a video about that yesterday, so go check it out if you haven't. If you want a little bit of explanation on what's in this set. But overall, the set has three things. This is a deck building set, which means that the rares are the commons, right? And you have collector's rares, you have supers and ultras. Some of the ultras, some of them have collector's rare. So usually what you would have in a deck building set is 3 archetypes. And the distribution of ultras is obviously like it's the highest rarity in the set. So it's obviously the best card. So Runic Tip, Runic Fountain, Welcome Labyrinth, Pearly, the continuous spell, the Pearly continuous spell, Rite of Aramasir, Water Enchantress of the Temple. You catch my drift? It's usually the best cards, right? But up until now, there's been an equal distribution of each arc. There's 10 in the set, so it's a distribution of 3, 3, and 4. One archetype gets 4. But it's like, it's one more, so maybe that would be the best archetype. So in terms of, let's look, just for an example, let's look at Grand Creators, because it was a really good set, right? Grand Creators an insanely good set. It's a collector set, so a deck building set. What's the distribution here? Sort by not rarity. So Punk has Foxy Tune, Ogre Dance, and Amazing Dragon. 3. EXO has Sophia, Michaelis, and Pax. Right? That's 3. Adventure has Rite of Ramesir, Water Enchanters of the Temple, Fateful Adventure. That's 3, and we're missing one more, which was the Zek Strike Cuckoo. That's 4. Okay, it's out of archetype. It's just like a reprint of the Inzektor cards, right? So you see, even though we have 3 insane archetypes here, but let's look at something like Tactical Masters. Runic didn't do as well as it did here in the OCG. It actually didn't do well at all in the OCG. So you basically have 3 archetypes here. In terms of Konami, Konami's like, we don't have anything to base Runic getting a lot of ultras in this set, right? Because, now they're looking at Vanquish Soul in the OCG, and they say that this is the only viable archetype. We're going to milk the hell out of all the players. So the flip side, by the way, is that if you get a box and you get ultras, you get usually 3 or 4 ultras, I think, in a box. So you would probably get good ultras because they're going to be Vanquish Soul ones 7 out of 10 times, right? So here, Labyrinth, which was obviously the best deck here in terms of the, of Konami, got Lovely, right? Lovely was probably an ultra. Ariana was an ultra. Was Ariana an ultra? And there's Welcome as well, which was an ultra. So Welcome, this was the 4 ultra archetype in this set. Correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not 100% sure. So this was obviously, in terms of Konami, the better archetype in the set, but it still didn't get 7 ultras because that would be absolutely bonkers. So now with Wild Survivors, we have Dino's got 1 ultra. 1. Ariana, Lovely, and Welcome. So it got the 4, the other archetypes got 3. Right? Runic got Hugin, Fountain, and Tip. Undoubtedly the best cards in the archetype. So here you can see the dinos. Ground Xeno, which is a fairly solid dino card, even though the deck doesn't do anything. They got an ultra with that. And then you have Vanquish Soul here. By the way, you have the Ritual archetype, which has 2. It's got Voici la carte, today's menu. And it has the Field Spell, which are both ultras. So that's 3. And then you have Vanquish Soul Raisin, Vanquish Soul Pantera, Vanquish Soul Heavy Borger, Vanquish Soul Mad Love, Vanquish Soul Caesar Valius, Rock of Vanquisher, Stake Your Soul, which are 7 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 7 out of the 12 cards in the archetype are ultras. That, to me, is kind of wild. Not gonna lie, kind of wild. So, yeah. Thing is, Vanquish Soul is a cool archetype. I think the Nouvelle cards are really funny as well. Dinos, unfortunately, aren't that sick. Like Ovi and Tyranno in Collector is kind of cool. Joshua Schmidt said something so funny today on stream that Dino players would rather play the gold rare versions, the maximum gold versions of these cards, which was hilarious. Because that's true, by the way. That is true. You do see that a lot. Yeah, it's called Wild Survivors because only the wild survives. VS archetype is going for $500 is absolutely bonkers. Listen, I got a runic core from tier 0 in pre-sale when nobody knew what runic did. Like, it was out of the blue. For 160 bucks ish. The whole core. Obviously, it didn't have as many ultras, but it's undoubtedly better than Vanquish Soul, at least in the TCG. So I don't know. It's really weird. So yeah, this is Wild Survivors. I do want to maybe take a look at a gameplay video for Vanquish Soul and understand the deck a little bit better, because I do want to know kind of what the deck does. So this is a good opportunity for us to learn, and then we're going to talk branded for the last 30 minutes of the stream once we're done with that. And what's the deck's playstyle? So we're just gonna watch the video on it. I don't have one. If anybody can send me a link in Discord if you have a good video. If not, we're just gonna search YouTube for that. See the one from El Exordio del Duelista. All right. They have a really good YouTube channel. El Exordio del Duelista. And they probably uploaded it like, yeah, there we go. Replays and analysis. Okay, we're going to watch that in a second. I'll go pee because I drank a whole bottle of water. And, yeah, Duelista is based. I'm not subscribed. I should be. 150K. Look at this guy. Okay. Also, great... What? Also, great... What? Also, great thumbnails. Great thumbnails. I'm a thumbnail appreciator. And these are great. Look at this. Look at this. I also have a build that makes 3 Masquerade. If you guys want to look at it later. I do have a 1 card, 2 Masquerade, and then you just need to complete the 3rd. We're going to look at that as well. Thumbnail enjoyer. Absolutely. I'm gonna pin this message. Yeah. This guy's videos are really, really good. Please follow if you haven't still. Let's go into the VS1. In the meantime, you guys, do you like the Bulgarian champ recipe? I reacted it. I will probably make a video out of it. Let me know what you guys think. Meanwhile, I'm going to leave you with a poll. I'm going to leave you with a Q&A. Pre 10K Q&A. So you got to ask me a lot of questions now. So use this minute wisely. Gonna run an ad as well, and I'll be back in 1 minute after I pee. Hello, beauties. My day is going really good. Thank you so much, Flair. How are you? Look at that badge. Look at that subscribers badge, guys. I just wanted to thank you because I went top 32. Let's fucking go! Your build review helped me so much. Branded sweep, baby. Can we get the Galzo versus Lofton? Yo, it's kind of spicy. Not gonna lie. Yo, let's hit up Lofton. This is how, I mean, we made a video together already, but this is such a good idea for a video. What do we have in the Q&A? Do we have anything even? I don't know. End Q&A. No, there's no questions. I don't know. Help me understand, Brandon. Thank you so much. I'm really happy for you. Good job. Little Fall Break, I had to pause, but I got the playmat from you, and I'm loving it. Let's go. Do you ever play D-Link or Bestial Control? I did play Bestial Control. I'll share a list. Let's watch this video. Get to know Vanquish Soul a little bit. Oh, it goes to chat. It goes to chat. That's fine. Let's close the Q&A. Let's end the Q&A. Right. Shut that music up. Holy crap. Look at this. You can't listen to that for like 16 minutes. But I appreciate the design. Look at the graphic design on this. It's really good. 7 souls of the wallet. Look at the quality. This is beautiful. Yeah, what a beast. All right, let's mute this because, you know, we need our lo-fi for this. Drop my headphones. Okay. So Fenrir is obviously like a good take for this deck. Fenrir, get Fenrir, summon Mad Love. If it's normal special, you add a Vanquish Soul Sparrow trap. So they probably add the trap. And then yeah. Okay. So it gets ashed. So you make the link 1. Link 1 adds from the deck, adds another Mad Love. Stake your soul, Theosis, basically. So you get Raisin special summons. Add Pantera, probably. No, adds the Borger, Heavy Borger. And now, how do we extend? Okay, so we tag out. This is the whole concept of the deck. Tags out, draws a card. Draws into DD Crow, sets I think it's a quick revive, the Dust Devil. Alright. Then it sets. It ended up with 5 cards in hand, 2 hand traps, that's fair. And then this triggers. Okay, so it's basically a Heat Soul. Okay. So you reveal a monster, and if you already have the Mad Love, so you just draw 2 cards. This is nice. It's basically Heat Soul at this point. But there's no Super Factorial. And also the Link 1 makes it so that you can your opponent can only attack the highest attack monster on your field. Right. So we keep going. Fenrir. Banish, Chain Ash. Just clicking buttons at this point. And then as a quick effect, you get to summon from the hand. So Raisin now can pop a column, right? So this gets banished. And now, quick effect, reveal a monster. And if they reveal Fire and Dark, which they have Kurakara. Woo! They pop the column. Based. And now they can tag out for the Raisin. Tag out for the Kaiser. Kaiser summoned. And it pops the column as well. Just 1 other card on the field because he already has all the attributes in the hand. And then Dust Devil is target one Vanquish monster. Oh, so it's a Book of Moon. So you change an attack position, and then you can book 2 monsters because you control 2 Vanquish souls. So you just book it. Yeah, that's pretty base. So it's a really like heavy control strategy, like a mid-range control. But I really like the card advantage and like the synergy with, you know, Ash Blossom is a fire, Didi Crow is a dark, Bell is earth, stuff like that. You can play like hand traps that give you a lot of value. That's crazy. It's like really good control. Look at the control on the board. And now they can reveal. Look at this hand. They infinitely draw cards. Link one like protects itself. Pop a card and reveal. That's nuts. This is such a cool play style. I really like that. All right, Kostra. All right, so they tag out. They add Stake Your Soul, Theosis, basically, so you can Ash it. Go into the Link 1. Link 1 special summons from the hand, and then set 2. So you have Heavy Borger on the field. And it's, Heavy Borger is the Heat Soul. Good. Heat Soul. Draw into Pantera. And now they book it. Theosis, Ash, that's based. Very based. Now they special summon from the hand. They draw a card. Really cool. They tag out. They get this. This draws a card. Small World. Ooh, really good card in this deck. Small World. Raisin, adds Kaiser effect to tag out. They can also pop, but they can't pop Earth, Fire, Dark. They have Earth and Fire. They need a Dark monster. They can't pop. They just go for attack. Make another Link 1. Holy crap. Fenrir. It's a good top deck. They book the Raisin. It's unaffected because they have Earth, Fenrir. And then this will probably pop the... Is he trying to pop or to draw? Oh, okay. Tier cash. It's kind of steamrolling right now. So they add a Vanquish from the graveyard. And now they have Dark Earth Fire. You can just pop the field. And the trap... I don't know what it does. This is cool. I mean, this is a very cool deck. However, it is 7 ultras. Let's see what the tier 0 prices are like, but I'm kind of scared. All right, awesome. We like it. Why are we always going first? All right, let's see how this deck plays through 2 hand traps. It's probably not that, like, it doesn't lose to hand traps that much. Now you summon Mad Love. Mad Love searches for the quick play. Is the tag out effect quick? Ooh. So it still resolves. Oh my god. You draw a card. Earth and Dark. Just Dark, you draw a card. The Rendell. When this card is equipped, you can add level 5 Fire Warrior monsters. That's Raisin. Holy. That's synergistic. Yo, I want to play this deck. We're probably going to play this deck later this week. Yeah, tag out. Continue. Summon from the grave. Set, pass. And then you basically have pop the entire... You pop a card because you have Fire, Dark, and Earth. You draw a card in your opponent's turn. Just Heat Soul. Yep, drawing to draw. Oh! That is spicy. That is spicy right there. Yeah, draw his ass. He pops it. Why would you pop it? Let him add. Right. So he books the field. That is so strong. I love it. Draw a card. Draw into a hand trap. super solid. Bounce a card back. Look at the field control. They don't even use the extra deck probably. You could probably play. You could play Prosperity here, but then you don't get to draw off the Mad Love or the Burger, right? The Burger. Oh wait, they released the tier 0 presale? Because if so, I gotta go. No, they didn't. What are you talking about? Not on tier 0. On Gamer's Choice. Don't scare me like that. Damn, this channel is so quality in terms of the designs and the visuals. So incredible quality. Against Pearly, got hand looped for 2. It's not good. Stake Your Soul. Stake Your Soul is good because you don't have to control a monster. So they can like book it. Mad Love add. So they basically want to book the field right here. And it's nice because you can book their field. Link 1, special summon from the hand. Raisin adds. Now they have a fire and dark. So they destroy the column. Oh, I love it. I love it. I want this deck. Too bad, Konami. Like, think about it. If they don't make it 7 Ultras, a lot more people play the deck. Like, isn't that what you guys want? Like, you don't want people to play the deck. Why make 7 Ultras? There's no logical explanation on why you would make this whole archetype an Ultra. There's no explanation for that. No way. Beer, yeah, you lose. Very cool. So basically we got it, right? We got the idea. Let's see his deck list. See the results. Look at the quality of the editing. Beautiful. Least used card. Yeah, they don't touch the extra deck. They just have like, you know, you get stopped, yeah, make Baguska. But it's good for utility. Like, you don't need it. Win ratio, dead hands, OTK. Beautiful editing. Let's look at the deck list. Very nice. Could probably play. There can be only one. Maybe even in the main deck. Kurikara is really nice. Synergistic hand traps like Kurikara is not a hand trap, but Ash, Crow, kind of mid. Maybe you play some Bestials. But overall, super clean. Like, Durendal is nice. Rhoda is, of course, good. Continues summons from the grave. You got the Dust Devil that books it. Stake Your Soul is Theosis. Small World. Really good in this deck. Your starters, I think they're playing 3 Borger, which is the Heat Soul. And then 3 Raisin, which is a really good starter. And then 3 Mad Love. All of these are Ultras, by the way. This is an Ultra. This is an Ultra. This is an Ultra. Really nice. And then the extra deck is extremely irrelevant. Like, you play a Zeus line because you have rank 4 plays. Then you play just utility cards. I really, really like this. Unfortunately, Konami made this probably a $400 to $500 deck. Doesn't make sense. It don't make sense to me. Right. Some banner stuff, guys. Again, I do appreciate every single one of you for being here. We're on the way to 10,000 subscribers, which is melts my heart. I do appreciate you guys being here. So if you could just please leave a thumbs up on the stream so it gets shared to other people through the algorithm. Then if you're not subscribed, then you can subscribe. Also, by the way, speaking of subscribing, nobody asked me anything about this. But this is something you would want to see. This is something everybody should see. Especially here in chat, because I know you're all branded enjoyers. This is going to be super fun. Hit the bell here to get notified. This is in our schedule, regular hour where we upload, but it's going to be a premiere. So we can watch it together live. We're not going to watch it now, because it premieres on Sunday. Thank you, Bacon, for the sub. I appreciate it. Love you so much. Is it animated? It's not It's not an anime, but it is animated. It's gonna be really nice. I'm not gonna say too much. But this thumbnail is cracking. Yeah, Vanquish Soul, cool deck. Vanquish Soul, cool deck, confirmed. Right. The goo. What about the goo? So, this is currently my regionals list. The artist is Vincent Graphic Art over on Twitter. He is talented. Vincenzo. Even got the profile pic. I should steal that as well. I should make it mine. I paid for it. What do you mean? Yeah. A very good way of getting your artwork stolen is just posting it really high quality to Twitter. Because it has 55,000 views and somebody's just going to steal it and use it in their art. But overall, this guy is hella talented. Really good like anime style. Yeah, this guy's based. Very based. Yeah, Cartiz. Oh, this is Quem. She has the face of Cartesia, but the features of Quem. This is nice. Anyway, this is what I'm currently thinking for the regional. Even kind of not thinking of playing. I had another version where I played Invader of Darkness, in Jinzo, in Christia, in the side, but I kind of want to respect some decks, so I'm just gonna play Puppet. And I do like it in the side, by the way. I think it's a good side deck option for going first. Either that or there can be only one. Like right now, it's either Puppet. It's either Puppet or Tikaboo. Those are the best going first cards. The best side cards for going first in Brandon right now. I just want to say Super Poly is a must. I respectfully disagree that it is a must. I think it's probably one of the worst formats that you can play Super Poly in. Probably the worst one. What is your optimal end board with Puppet? Without Puppet or Adlib? Basically, you end on Quem in red, Mirror Jade, and Grand Guignol. It's usually good enough. But we could possibly fit Adlib here. Maybe we fit Adlib instead of one. Because I get what everybody's saying about Adlib. On one hand, like if you're siding Puppet, then going first, you need to have a good enough end board, right? And like you can get a pretty good line if you play Ad Libitum, then you can set up in red with Ad Libitum. Like in red, Mirror Jade Ad Libitum in the graveyard. No deck on Earth can break that, except for maybe Dragon Link if they main Bestials, right? But I'm kind of feeling it like this is the main copium. So the theory behind the deck is as follows. Dark Ruler, no more in the main for going second. Yeah, of course. Maybe you don't need this whole package. So this basically thrust is instead of the thrust and fusion duplication is basically instead of Nadir Servant. So what happens is that you get ashed. If you have cross out, that's great. Otherwise, you just set duplication. And that's another branded fusion on your opponent's turn. Then you can make it Dragoon, etc. Right? That's the whole theory behind. Like, it's a very simple theory where this replaces Nadir Servant. It's probably not as good as Nadir Servant, overall speaking, in terms of the things that you can do with it. But if you hard draw it, it's not really that bad. It's a good extension on your opponent's turn. So for going second, we have Rust and Talons, we have Dark Ruler, we have Ash. It's not a lot of going second, but it's 40 cards, so you could fit more. I just don't like playing a lot of hand traps in Branded because it is bricky. You brick on hand traps, and the good hand traps are non-synergistic with the deck in terms of typing, so I rather put all of my efforts in the side. And I'm going to say another thing, that this is a regional and it's probably going to be a small one. I'm not even sure I'm going to go, but if I do go, this is a very small regional post-nationals in a format that is just like everybody's kind of over it. This is not putting my absolute best efforts for like a nationals build. Like a nationals build, I was theorizing for weeks and I played more hand traps and I played more things that I felt comfortable with. Here, I'm kind of want to joke around with the list a little bit just to maybe pull out something nice and fun. So this is not like a nationals or a YCS list. This is a small regional list that I kind of want to have fun with some tech cards and see them play out, right? So this was one option. We do have the branded synchro build, which probably doesn't need the crossouts, right? It doesn't really need the crossouts. This was something that we looked at already. What is this? Yeah, this is the yeah, whatever. It's a bestial dragon, apple dragon adventure. I also tested this. Thought about maybe doing this. No Braver side for super heavy. Yeah, I don't think you need to play Rainbow in your deck at all. Like just play Drolls and good going second cards. You don't need to rely on like going second. So let me explain something about 5 Rainbow. Going second, like going first, you should be playing Puppet if you want to auto win. Like if you want to play cards like 5 Rainbow, play Puppet. You win, you resolve it, and you win, right? Going second, you don't resolve your brand fusion. You might as well, like, you know, play board breakers. Just play board breakers. Jaugenlock? Yeah, I don't know. I kind of didn't want to play Puppet at all. Maybe play something else, but you know, if you do want to win, maybe you don't need the Puppet if you play the right deck. And then we have this, which is horrible in Droll format, but this makes 3 Masquerade really easy. This is a very easy 3 Masquerade deck. Right? So horrible in Droll format, yeah? I do kind of want to... I don't want to use the Aluber to search brand fusion. I do want to try to find something else to do that with. So we are going to go full copium here. No, this doesn't do it. Yeah, like specifically in this scenario where you do have to, like, the thing is, if you hard draw branded fusion, then it's 2 Masquerade, right? So now we go for Tragedy and Albaz. Go for Rebellion. Discard this. And shuffle back and resolve the Tragedy as well. Then we shuffle back the Merc and shuffle back the Tragedy as well. And we go for a first Masquerade. Then we go for Cartesia. And let's see how we make one more fusion here. Like you could obviously fuse this and this together, right? You make another one. Summon this back. And then on your opponent's turn, you make another Masquerade. But if you only open Branded Fusion, it's automatically 2 Masquerade in this deck. Like just Branded Fusion. I think it's Branded Fusion and a discard. Branded Fusion and a discard. So it could really be anything. And just Branded Fusion gets you to 2 Masquerade in this deck. You do this and this. You do this. You discard, then you resolve and search for a Luber. Of course, this is a horrible deck to play in Droll format. You shuffle these 2 back. Make a Masquerade, go for this. And go for Theater. And make another one. So that's 2 Masquerade off of 1 Branded Fusion and a discard, and then you make, blah, blah, blah. You go on. Did you know Virtual Ward can Gimmick Puppet now? Super Heavy also. Super Heavy also can make that. Yeah, but I think, like, overall, this might be something close to the list that we play. We could run some games. I just don't want to play ranked, sort of. I guess it's fine. I guess that's okay. You can run a game. See what's up. I lost like 300 ratings in the last week of Nationals. I just lost every game. It was horrible. I won. Then I started like changing the build and I just started losing. It was awful. Alright, so we have Thrust for going second. But if it's super heavy, then we might just lose already. If it's cash, then it's not that bad. Yeah, dude. Ooh. Saladman, great. Alright, I dig. Nice. Alright, you also topped. Good job, dude. Good job for all our branded national tops. Love to see it. Love to see it, guys. Super proud of all of you. Anybody a One Piece fan here? What about the One Piece collection over on Sleeve Chief? That was kind of fire. Really struggling against cash with Branded. Well, first of all, I think it's natural because it's the best deck in the format and it's a better deck than Branded. It's not a better deck, it's a stronger deck. But you need to understand the locals, regionals, and nationals setting around you. And also, like when you're playing DB, your deck needs to be ready for cash as much as possible, which I think first and foremost, maybe Kurikaras, Kaijus, and Dragoon. That's like the basic that you can do. Like the most basic thing that you can do is play those cards to have a chance. And those are obviously good against other things as well. Yo, you got the Luffy dice. Let's go. Yeah, I mean, after Nationals, though, people fall off after Nationals. I didn't go to locals this week. I was like, maybe even the regionals. I don't know if I'm gonna go. We'll see. Because none of my friends are going, which sucks. I got like one friend who's judging, who is gonna be there, but otherwise I'm just gonna be by myself. Gotta protect the title. Dark Ruler No More is underestimated against cash. Yeah, also, by the way, like it ruins cash. You just need to take care of the birth. But like, if you Dark Ruler cash, you can just normal Albaz and win so hard. What line do you use to go to Dragoon? So you go for Branded Fusion. You send Fallen of Albaz and Dark Magician to the graveyard. You get Lubellion. Lubellion discards, shuffles back Dark Magician and itself, and that equals a Dragoon. And you need to negate quite early. And the best negate in Kastria, by the way, is the Scareclaw Kastria effect in the hand. Just so you know. No, but you don't end on Dragoon though. Dragoon is only for going second. Dragoon, you don't make Branded Fusion go for Dragoon pass on Dragoon. You never ever make that. Dragoon is only for going second. It is in your main deck, and you can go for it if you know the guy sitting across from you, the person sitting across from you is. Oh my God, no! They did not just make Baguska. I don't know how are we gonna out this. Set 2 pass. Well, that's good if we had Brand Fusion. Let's start off by drawing cards. Let's draw some cards. What can we realistically want here? Retribution doesn't do a lot, but we already have an Albaz. Opening could be good here if they have the pop. I don't remember what they said, but we'll see. Alright, Tragedy is kind of bad because basically whatever we summon, they pop 2. They basically pop 2, right? That's what's gonna happen. Like Baguska is very hard for this deck. This is why I play Dark Ruler, by the way. This is exactly why I play Dark Ruler, because if you droll super heavy, they make this card, and you need a way to out it. Go for deployment for Cartesia. Because they know they can play with a Baguska and just OTK me through. They just OTK me through with Baguska on the field, just make access. So we might go for it might be the play to even try to pass here and not lose to the pop 2. I mean, we do. I don't know if it's in monsters or not. Malong is fine, but it's a pretty expensive extra slot. Wow. Damn. So they're just gonna play under Baguska now. Basically, right? They don't have to do anything. Yeah, you can send it with Granguignol, but the problem is that it's a pretty expensive extra deck slot. I don't like it's a very situational card that does a handful of things well, not like anything else. You can send it with Granny, but it's too specific. Rather play like. By the way, you don't send Granguignol. It is only with Nadir Servant, because your Granguignol doesn't activate. You can't activate it under Baguska. Right, so they go for Cartesia. I mean, we just get OTK'd here probably. This can definitely go out. Going first. And we might want like Ib to some extent. Right? Might want Nib to some extent. It's probably going to be a little bit better than Ash. So we're just going to play 2 and 2. I think that would be the call. Yeah, it doesn't matter if you called by it. It doesn't really matter. What do you think about running 2 Lubellions? if you play against a lot of Kastria, then possibly, yeah. This is a very fragile hand, but thank God we have Nibiru. So honestly, so the thought process here, they play a lot of hand traps. But we don't have, like, if they Veiler the Aluber, we kind of lose. So there's two lines here. If they Veiler the Aluber, we pass with only Nibiru. But Quem doesn't do anything except for sending the Albaz to the grave, which also doesn't do anything. We need them to summon, but they go for a Link 1. That's good for us. But I think I want to play, like, play this. And now if we get ashed, not horrible. Oops. And now what we do is, how do we get to Puppet here? We might even not resolve Branded Fusion at all, so. Okay, so we do this. We don't have access to Cartesia. So we basically... Albaz and Lobelion. It's gonna be a bit hard to get to Puppet here. With just this. So we might go for, like, the simpler line here. Yeah, but then you don't have the trap. No, it's not. I see what you're saying. So basically, you send this and Puppet, and then Mirror Jade Banish. Very fragile to a lot of things here, but we can run it. We can run it. Maybe they'll make the job easier for us. So we get follow-up, but like basically one interruption breaks us. It's a pretty bad line to go in. It's like if they bell us now, or like Bestial in the end phase, we're kind of screwed. Don't particularly like this line, but maybe want to do like a more traditional one. But also Brandon Red here doesn't really do a lot too. So I don't know. I honestly haven't played barely. Why are you skipping to main? This is why you don't play DP. Alright. We don't really need to do this, right? We don't actually need to do this. Yeah, there are a lot of interesting people on DB. Yeah, we're definitely not gonna play this out. Yeah, not worth it. Anyway, we didn't get to talk about Brandon much today, unfortunately. But DB just makes me cringe every freaking time I play. So, might as well not waste my time. Yeah, there are a lot of other good videos coming this week. And then Sunday, of course, we have the Brandon lore video. It's going to be really nice. I do appreciate you guys for being here. We are out of time, unfortunately. But, yeah, I don't like Eater Pro 2. I don't know. But before we wrap this up, check out my sponsors, sleevechief.de. Affiliate links in the description, tier0games.com, 5% off. And follow me on Twitter if you want all the news regarding like everything. Like I tweet constantly, So make sure to follow me over there as well. That's in the description too. Really, really appreciate you guys for being here, spending your time with me. It's been fun. Like the stream, subscribe for new, and of course, expect for more awesome videos for the rest of the week. Again, thank you so much for being here. Have a really, really good day and rest of your week. I'm super happy to have you guys here. Love you guys so much. See you in the next one. Deuce.